Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So in today's video I'm going to be talking you through my summer makeup bag, all of the products that I'm recommending for summer. This is like heat-proof makeup, what I'm going to be relying on to get me through long hot summer days, and the look that I am relying on through this summer, and the products that I recommend. So this is like mindless makeup for me. This is like, I have woken up, it's a beautiful day, I'm going out for the day somewhere, and I just want to get a full face of makeup on. I want to look good, I want to know that it's going to last until the end of the day, but I don't want to have to think about it because it's so hot. My mind has melted. So these are all the products that I recommend. Let me know down below what your recommendations for long-lasting summer makeup is. And let's just dive straight on in. My first product is, of course, SPF. It's so important. I cannot downplay how important SPF is. So therefore I have two to recommend. And this is the one that I'm going to be using today, but I also wanted to talk about this one. So this is the Beauty Bay Face Lotion SPF 50. This is in the old packaging, it comes in a different packaging now. SPF 50 is generally what I need if I'm going out and about, going outside, leaving my house at any point. I have to put on an SPF 50. It's just completely non-negotiable. Obviously, I am so fair. It is so important to have an SPF. Everybody knows that now, and this one is really, really great. It's very liquidy, which I feel is a little bit of a downside for it, where it's just so watery. I have to pump this into my hand. Let me just wipe this off before it goes absolutely everywhere. I have to pump this into my hand and then put it onto my face. I do like 4 or 5 pumps, rub it all over, like get right up under your eyes. I don't find that this stings or leaves any sort of white cast. It does rub in really, really nicely. It leaves my skin feeling really nice and hydrated. Obviously this is SPF 50, but I'm going to be using this one today because I'm not actually leaving the house. I'm filming this video, I'm filming another video, and then I'm sitting here in my house editing. So I don't need an SPF 50, I'm going to use a 30. This is the Inkey Polyglutamic Acid Dewy Sunscreen SPF 30. This is absolutely fantastic. If you are less fair than me and you find that an SPF 30 is enough for you, this is a really, really great one. It leaves the skin feeling incredible. It's made to go under makeup, basically. It's made to make your skin look beautiful with makeup over the top of this product, if that makes any sort of sense. And I apply liberally. Obviously I need quite a bit of it, and this has polyglutamic acid in it, which is one of my all-time favourite skincare ingredients. And I have very, very dry skin. I also have very, very sensitive skin, and SPFs, I've just got to be a little bit careful with them. For example, I had SPF on a couple of days ago, like 3 or 4 days ago, and I didn't wash it off, like my body, at the end of the day, and now I'm absolutely covered in like prickly heat because I didn't wash it off. That is how sensitive my skin is. Like, I can't leave anything on my body, basically. And obviously I take off my makeup at the end of the day, and I didn't take it off my body on this occasion, and it has brought me out in a rash. So that's cute, but completely my own fault. I should have washed it off. I'm just going to make sure I take this right down my neck as well. And I don't know if you can tell, but it leaves the skin feeling so nice and hydrated, so dewy and juicy looking. Obviously that polyglutamic acid is like hero ingredient for me. I absolutely love it, but this just leaves the skin feeling so beautiful. So I'm going to give that just a little minute to sink in, and then I'll move on to the other products. So now that that has had a little minute to sink in, I'm going to move on to the base products, and obviously I'm starting with this. We all knew that this was coming. I love the glow, and this is another like hero product for me for summer. This is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter, and I have this in the shade 2, so it is like warmer than my skin tone. However, it is like a sheer coverage, it's not a foundation, it goes under your foundation. Or what I've been loving doing recently is mixing it into the foundation. I'm not going to do that today, but I've done that with so many of my favourite foundations and it works amazingly. So I'm going to put a little bit on like the high points where I put highlighter basically. So like top of the cheeks, down the nose, get a little bit more, put some on my chin, just make sure I've got it basically wherever I put highlight. And then I will go in with a brush and blend this out. And you can see it's not making me look this colour, it's not making me look orange, but it just adds a beautiful warm glow to the skin where it just looks, again, like it's adding all of these glowy steps in. It's adding in that beautiful warm soft glow that looks incredible, but putting it a little bit more precisely. Like when I first got this I like put it all over, but then I ended up looking a little bit sweaty. So putting this a little bit more precisely exactly where I put a highlight, I find it's just a little bit more flattering, and ultimately by the end I'm happy with the result rather than like applying it all over and then feeling like I look sweaty. So for foundation, this is absolutely the one that I'm going to be reaching for throughout the summer. This is the Relove Super Serum. I have this in the shade F3 and this is the lightest weight feeling foundation. Feels like nothing, but it gives the perfect amount of coverage in my opinion. And I'm just using a relatively small amount, but blending it right out. I'm just using the same brush that I used for that filter finish for the e.l.f. Halo Glow. And I'm going to start patting it out with the brush and then I'm going over it with a sponge. So I'm blending it out and making sure that it is like all over, pretty much 100% blended out, but then going in with the sponge just to make sure there aren't any lines or anything like that. Obviously with it being a more liquidy formula, it is very, very lightweight, but it just instantly pretty much evens everything out. And once I've set this, oh, I've got a hair from my brush, oh, that was tickly. Once I've set this, it's going nowhere. Because of course it's all personal, like whatever you want to do is absolutely a-okay with me. But for me, I like a very lightweight feeling base. I like a very hydrated but lightweight feeling on the skin. I don't want to feel like I've got loads of product on, but also I do feel like I need to like cancel out the redness in my cheeks, just even things out a tiny, tiny little bit. Obviously, if I was like going to the beach or if I was going, I don't know, like in certain situations I wouldn't put makeup on at all. Like I'm perfectly happy not wearing makeup. However, you know, if I'm going to like a beer garden, if I'm going to see friends for the day, something that is less glamorous, not that, you know what I mean. I absolutely want a little bit of something on, and this is my little bit of something. For concealer, I just want to show you this before I like take it out of the tube so you can see how much I have loved this. Genuinely one of the best concealers I've ever tried. This is the 17 Second Skin Enhancing Concealer. I think this was like £2. Honestly, it's fantastic. You don't need, for this look or what I've got in my head, I don't need a ton of coverage. I don't need to like cover up anything that's on my skin. I am just going to put a little bit sort of here, but I don't feel like I need a ton, and if I had any spots or anything I probably would just leave them. I am a big advocate for just letting your skin look how your skin looks. Ultimately, if I've got a spot, I just let it live. I just let it live there. But dark circles, that's where I draw the line. I don't want to see dark circles. So again, I'm just tapping this out with a brush, and you can see it just looks so natural. This concealer is very slightly glowy, where it's like a little bit hydrating. It's so lightweight on the skin. Again, another product that's really, really nice and lightweight, but it's just the right amount of coverage for me. Just a lightweight wash of something, just to give me a little bit more confidence in my skin. So for like the rest of the base products, bronzer and blush, I like to do in summer a cream or like a liquid version and then a powder to set it. That just makes it last a little bit longer. It makes it really like lock into your skin, so you've got those 2 layers of colour, you've really locked it into your skin and it's going to last. So for the bronzer, going in with the e.l.f. Putty bronzer. It's a classic for a reason. Everybody loves it for a reason, and I am no exception. I love the colour. This is in the shade Tan Lines. They have lots of colours in these, so you can find one that will suit your skin tone. They also have one, this is like the light warm colour, but they do also have one that's more like contoury. So I just go in with a relatively small amount and I'm just doing like bronzer, basically tapping this in, blending it out. This is the Real Techniques Expert face brush, so I go in with this and I really blend it into the skin, but again using like light layers. If it wears off a little bit, it's sort of, you've got that reassurance where you've got the layers of product where it doesn't leave you looking crazy, basically. And then for blush, this is the Collection Filter Finish Liquid Blush Light Wand, and this is in the shade 2 Peach Pleasure. This is a fairly new find for me. It's only just launched, and honestly, I cannot stop wearing it. I've worn this pretty much every single day since I got it. It's the perfect like warm blushy colour that I just think looks so summery and beachy and all of the things that I want to be all summer long. So I'm applying quite a bit of that, and then I've got another Expert face brush and I'm just going to tap it over, blend it out, and you'll see it's just so glowy, so soft, but the colour is so pretty as well. Like if you have the e.l.f. ones and you want something that's maybe a little bit cheaper even than that, because I know that that's a dupe for another product that is more expensive, but this is, in my opinion, better than the e.l.f. ones. Yeah. So I like to really like blend the blush into the bronzer, especially like up around the sides of like my temples. I also sometimes like take this and start to like bring it across the eyelids a little bit, also across the nose, basically anywhere where you would get a little bit sunburn if you were out in the sun. That is where I put it, and it just leaves the skin looking like you've just emerged from the sea. It's the most beautiful finish. It's glowy, it's soft. I don't feel like it picks up on texture. I don't feel like it makes me look sweaty because obviously I don't have it down the centre. It does just add that really nice glow to the sides of the face, and I absolutely cannot stop using specifically Peach Pleasure. It's absolutely fantastic. So the powder, obviously I want something light, but I want something that's going to set things in where I'm not going to look sweaty as the day goes on. And these two together absolutely lock in my makeup all day. So this is one of the little triangle powder puff things. I just get like a pack of 20 on Amazon. I haven't actually tried washing these yet. I wonder how they would go being washed. Probably quite well. They feel quite sturdy. And this is the Revolution IRL powder duo thing. I don't love the one on the top, I will say that. Every time I've used that I felt like it looks a little bit heavy. However, the one underneath is absolutely fantastic. It is the finest loose powder I've ever used in my life. I will put a little bit onto this powder puff, and if I just do one side and like compare to the other side, like in real time, just the smallest amount of powder, can you see the difference where this side just looks smoother? It just looks less like I have makeup on. It looks more natural with that tiny little bit of powder on, where this side looks shiny and like I have product here, which obviously I do, but here it just dials down that glow, it just sets things in, absolutely incredibly, and I use this very, very lightly. I take a really small amount on the actual powder puff and then I stamp it into the puff, and then I dab it on just precisely where I need it, which is like not very much at all because obviously my skin is so dry, but I just want a little bit of reassurance that I'm not going to look sweaty by the end of the day, because I don't want to look sweaty. I want to look glowy but not sweaty. Obviously that's a fine line to like get right, but I feel like with this powder it's just perfect to me, honestly. So then I haven't put any of that powder over like the cheeks. All of this is still just those cream products, so it's a little tacky. It will set down in time, but I like to set it with actual powder products. So I use the e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer. This is in the shade Forever Sunkissed, and I like to take a brush, this one, and I really like load up the brush and I swipe it over wherever I put that cream bronzer just to set in that colour, and obviously this will also add in a little bit of that colour. So again, it's just those light layers working up in a few light layers rather than one big one to make the finished look. And I'm also just like very, very roughly running some of this like down the sides of my nose and almost like into my brows. So that's like nose contour, but I don't contour my nose because it would end in disaster. But it's just bringing that colour like into the centre of the face as well, which I find just makes things look a little bit more warm all over. And that's what I want. So I'm taking another Real Techniques blush brush into my blush this time. So these are the Collection Glow Soft Glow blushes. This is in the shade Too Bashful. This is my most worn shade at the minute. I have every single one, and this is my most worn one because it's like a warm, peachy, summery, glowy blush. And honestly, you could not pay me to get rid of these out of my collection. I absolutely love them. I go on about these in so many videos. You must be bored of me talking about these by now because honestly, I am always prattling on about them. But they're one of those where I'm like, nobody talks about them. Nobody is using these. Like, they're absolutely fantastic blushes. And I'm like, why isn't anybody else talking about them? I'm also just going to put a little bit of this across my chest too, as if I've actually caught the sun. So obviously I could leave it there for the glow, but it's me, so I'm not going to. I'm going in with the Revolution Highlight Reloaded in Just My Type, my all-time favourite highlight. If you are fair like me, this shade, Just My Type, is absolutely fantastic. They have so many shades though, so no matter what shade you want or how deep your skin tone is, anything like that, you can find one that will suit you. These never look too much. These are so glowy, so soft, like it just adds to all of that glow that I'm working on, like on the outside of my face and like taking it all away from the centre. I feel like this is another product that I will always have in my collection, no matter how many other highlights I try where I'm like, yeah, you are blinding. There's just something about this where I'm like, it looks like my skin is actually wet, like it looks like I'm actually glowing. I love it. This is the highlight that I wore on my wedding day and I absolutely would not change it. It looks incredible. So now that all of those powder products are on and my base is done, I would at this point, if I wanted my bronzer, I wanted anything more, I would go in and apply it, just make sure everything is really nice and blended, and then I'm going to set it in with a spray. So this is the e.l.f. Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist. Absolutely the most incredible setting mist that I've ever used. It's so fine, like the spray on it is so fine, it almost feels like you're not getting anything on your face, and then when you look you're like, oh, I have an absolutely soaking wet face now. but this just sets everything in. It's very, very lightly scented, but if you've been here before, then you'll know that I don't like scent. This is so lightly scented that it doesn't bother me, doesn't irritate my eyes, doesn't irritate my skin. I find that it really, really makes my makeup last. It just melts all of the products in together and then melts into your skin, so it makes it look just that extra little bit flawless. And I have about 7 of these in backup because I'm not ever being without this product either. And especially in summer, I find that I want that extra step just to like re-energize my skin. It's about 7 million degrees in my room right now, so I feel like I need that like mist to cool me back down again. So for the brows, I don't do anything different with it being summer. I did, actually that's a lie, I did put a little bit of that setting powder through my brows just to make sure I wasn't getting sweaty eyebrows, because that's the thing. But today I'm going in with the Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Retractable Brow Pencil. What shade are you? Who knows? Medium brown. And I'm also using the e.l.f. Wow Brow in Brunette. So I'll be right back when I've got some brows on my head. So that is the brows on, and now I'm going to move on to the eyes, and basically the only eye look that I can see myself doing all summer long, like when I don't want to think about it. I have recently been doing a lot of just like one colour across the eye, maybe with a wing, and then mascara, and just calling it a day so that I don't have to think about it. That's what I've been doing for like an everyday work scenario, but I'm gonna go a little bit more today. I think an eye base is definitely becoming an essential in my makeup routine. A couple of years ago I would have said no, just use your concealer, but now I've tried this one and I'm like, it definitely makes the colours pop a little bit more. So this is the Beauty Bay eye base. This is in the shade 2. I think shade 1 is just pure white. I think that's for like, you know, really, really bold sort of eye looks, whereas 2 is like my skin tone. So I'm just tapping a little bit of this all over the lid, and then I'm going to take a brush and I'm going to just tap this in. So this leaves the lids a little bit sticky, so it really grabs onto the colour of your eyeshadow, and I also do genuinely believe that it makes my eyeshadow last longer. I do want to do a video, and let me know if you want to see it, where I do like a full day wear test, like one eye with an eye primer and one eye without, because I am quite interested to see what the results of that would be. Like, does it genuinely make a difference to like the amount of colour that pays off, how easily it blends out, all that stuff. So let me know if that's something that you'd want to see. I'm probably going to do it anyway because I want to know, but let me know if you would also like to see that. For the eyeshadow, like I say, this is just mindless makeup for me, and this is what I have been reaching for when I just want the look that I'm doing, which is like a warm coppery colour. This is what I've been reaching for because it just has everything that I need. This is the Sample Beauty The Plush palette, and basically all I've been doing is putting like either one of these colours on the top row, these matte ones, so either Luxe or Loafer, like through the crease, then putting First Class on the outer corner, and then Grand across the lid, and it gives a warm coppery smoky eye, but it's just like 3 colours. It's so easy, these blend incredibly. So I'm going to go in with Loafer because I feel like I want something a little bit more glam today, because why not? I'm just going to run this through the crease. So this is the shade Loafer, which is like a warm brown, but all of these shades will make blue eyes look incredible. Anything that's in like this warm orangey undertone, warm like coppery eyeshadows will always make blue eyes just pop. Like the most incredible blue eyes by the end of this, and I absolutely love this look. So then I'm just using the same brush and I'm dipping into that First Class shade, which is the more orangey, like darker burnt orange, and I'm just going to stamp that on the outer half of the lid and just blend it into that loafer shade that I put through the crease. And this look is just one brush. Like, I used that loafer under the eye and I just like pinched it together and like ran that under the eye. But it's like, it's quick, it's easy. Just make sure you're like blending in between the steps. But honestly, it's so quick and easy. But I feel like it's really like summer in an eye look. So then once that's blended out, I'm just going to go in with my finger into that grand shade, which is the most incredible like bronzy coppery shimmer. And I'm just going to tap that all across the lid, right up into the inner corner. And it's just the most incredible coppery, shimmery shade. I absolutely love it. And then once I've packed that shade on, I'm just tapping over like the top edge with that same brush just to really blend it out. And that is me done. So you can see it's like a warm coppery smoky eye, but it just makes blue eyes look incredible. I feel like this is summer in an eyeshadow look. If I wanted to do a winged liner, which I'm not going to do today, but if I was going to, it would absolutely be this one, the Profusion Everlasting Waterproof Liquid Liner. This will last through heat, through sweat, through crying, through everything. This is the most fantastic liquid liner. Like I say, I'm not going to use it today because I don't want to, but if I was doing a liquid liner, which I do regularly, it would absolutely be that one. For mascara, I have two options because they're quite different and I feel like mascara is quite a personal thing. However, both of these are absolutely fantastic. So we've got the e.l.f. Big Mood and the e.l.f. Lash and Roll. If you want big, thick, clumpy lashes that are like so thick and so clumpy, this is absolutely the one. This is like a natural bristled wand, so it really like clumps up the lashes and makes them really, really thick, really, really dramatic. If you want something a little bit more natural, I'm going to use this one today. This is the e.l.f. Lash and Roll. This has a plastic bristled wand and this really like lengthens and curls the lashes. So depending on what you want and depending what look you're going for, both of these last incredibly well through the heat. I wear both of these regularly for like hot days at work, going out and about, going out in the heat. I work in a very, very like hot, sweaty kitchen, so both of these last incredibly well. I'm just feeling like something a little bit more natural, you know, with the amount of glitter that I've got on my eyes. I feel like I want something just a little bit more fluttery, so putting on a few layers of this. So that's the mascara on, and although I feel like I'm happy with how this looks, I do just want to add another little extra step. So this is the Essence Stay and Play Gel Eyeliner, and this is in the shade 03 Silky Nude. I feel like adding in a nude eyeliner, like a bright nude eyeliner, really opens up the eyes, especially at the minute like hay fever is absolutely slaying me. I feel like my eyes are always so red, and adding in just a little bit of a nude eyeliner into the lower waterline, I feel like is one of those tiny little steps that makes the biggest difference. So if I just do one side, you might be able to see it just opens up the eyes again, just makes this side look just a little bit more bright, a little bit more awake, a little bit less red. And I feel like it's these little subtle steps for me, adding in these few extra little steps, I feel like makes a really, really big difference. So I'll do the other side to even myself up. And that is the eyes done. Let me know what you think of this eye look because I think it looks incredible. So just to finish off the rest of the look, I'm going in with, of course, my favourite lip liner, the Essence 8 Hour Matte Comfort Lip Liner. This is in the shade Rosy Nude. So I'm just going to overline the lips a little. And then for the lipstick, in summer and basically all year round, I like to have a sort of glossy lip that I can like keep reapplying, and these are one of my all-time favourite formulas, the MUA Satin Sheen Lip Stylo. This is in the shade Super Nude, and just look, it's pigmented like a lipstick, but it goes on, feels like a gloss, feels so nice and hydrating, but leaves like a really nice glossy finish. And this is my summer look. All of my go-to products, I'm just going to put a little bit of that highlight because it's me and I feel like I don't look like myself without an inner corner highlight. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this, pop it right in there. Oh, that's better. Instantly feel like myself now. While I've got this small brush out, I will just put a little bit down the nose as well, because why the hell not? And that is me done. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you pick up any of these products. As always, I will leave them linked down below. Let me know if there's any other like summery looks that you want to see from me. But until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye.